These are the Luxons. In their 5-year history as a team, they have won multiple awards and have made it to state on 2 separate occasions. This documentary will cover the second occasion, which occurred during the Skystone season. Special attention will be paid to team discussions, mechanism testing, and the competitions. Without further ado, let us begin. Before the season had even started, we had an idea for a modular chassis, which would allow us to test miniature mechanisms.
Let's take a more closer look at this U channel that we're going to install here. Okay, so let's assume that the motor rests here. Okay, so this will be the motor. Okay, and then just imagine that you can see inside of this. Okay, so here we would run the axle, which would touch 2 connection points, which is important. Our axle this here touched 1 connection point. So 2 connection points, and then it would have a cap on this side, okay? And then on this side it would have a motor hub with the wheel connected to it, okay? And then in between these, there'd be a gear on this side. And then on this side you have the motor axle, and then another gear here.
And then chain attached to it.
And then this is also important. This connects to 2 attachment points. And then it has a little cap on this side. And then in between those, we have a little chain running there. Okay? And that'll turn everything.
The team didn't fully get back together until the kickoff event on September 7th. Both new and veteran members were able to get a chance to learn about Skystone, and the robot ideas they brainstormed were introduced at the team's first official meeting on September 9th.
Basically, we're just going to have one person at a time come up. You're just going to draw literally all the ideas you've come up with this far. You're going to draw like all of them and explain them as you're drawing them. And once you've done that, as long as the idea is not like baseless or like just outright, what is this? Is this not for the right game, or just it would break like 3 rules at once if we were to put it in, then you can draw it. Like, it doesn't have to be feasible at all. You can absolutely draw an unfeasible idea. And also make sure whenever you're drawing any of your ideas, you refer to that chart and just say which points you could get with your idea.
Joe's idea was for a 4-bar lift.
I mentioned a lot about having a box with a claw design to pick up cues.
Okay. I've
However,
got the answer.
my idea is against this. My idea, instead of having a claw, is to have a 4-bar lifting design to kind of lift upwards as it goes on. And over time, it would to a point where this bar makes this bar upwards. And that's why I plan on having like some sort of like grabber or something like that to grab on cubes and stack that on top.
Yeah, I was just a little bit confused on like so we're not picking up blocks at all.
Basically, they would look like grabber on the floor lifter, and then the floor lifter would basically lift upward instead of being a claw where like basically grab down and put up. It would be like basically a slow gradual motion like this.
Aaron had an idea for a conveyor belt system.
I'm Aaron, and my idea is for like picking up the Legos. I'm gonna call them Legos because that's what they are. And so picking up.
You better study up before you take the quiz.
So claws again are very clunky and slow. So my idea is that we would have a variable sort of height system. This would be a bit complicated on this, but like this could be like a treadmill or something. You know what I mean? And you could adjust the height of this to change the angle of it.
How would we ensure that they fall so that they fall on top of each other?
You could have like something to position it. Like maybe we could have like something that overlooks the stack, for example. Like you could have like a sort of thing that they could fall through, and maybe you could even go more and like have little lines here to make sure they fall straight.
A major limitation of this idea be that the conveyor itself could only be 18 inches long to fit within the 18 by 18 by 18 cube. Well, the robot has to be able to fit in 18 by 18, but the bridge is 14. You could go short under it, but at the same time, it can't be longer than the robot is wide.
Yeah.
So the higher you raise it, the more distance you're putting between where you're trying to stack and where it's going to drop off from.
So maybe there could be two separate conveyors. I mean, this is very complicated, but like, or maybe a second one could like move into place somehow. I'm not sure.
Ashish devised a double-barred arm.
But I guess,
So
would you draw which parts move and which ones are static?
Yeah, I'll draw those two.
I guess that's mostly the part that
So would you agree that, putting aside my inability to draw at all, these two are parallel and these two are parallel?
Yeah.
And would you agree that due to them being parallel, these angles and these angles are the same? Wow.
Nolan proposed his idea for a stone lifting mechanism.
Picking up. So I thought we'll have basically a chain that pulls a little carrier, little like block, like a cup, like we had last year. That the block goes into, and then we can just like drag it up and down depending on where we need to bring it. And we can have like a motor here that pushes a little metal rod in and out. So if you need to push the block out onto the carrier thing, then you can just push this and the block will fall out. Because it seems like the major thing isn't going to be stacking them, it's just going to be getting as many as possible in there as quickly as possible. And also for one of the things in autonomous was dragging like the little carrier thing back and forth. We could, on the bottom of the robot, put a little claw of some sort that we just like grab it, drag it around, and then like just leave it where we need to until we need to drag it again, making it easier to pull around. And
Isn't that the idea that we took out after our second meet?
I think he's referring to the lunchbox.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh,
the
the
one that
lunchbox?
grabbed it, but the one that turned it back.
yeah.
Except this
Oh,
one is-
so you're saying like ditch the stacking
Yeah.
entirely and just get them on the foundations
Yeah,
or
because
those
it seems
points?
it seems like the most points just come from getting them there, rather than taking the time to stack them and then hoping that we don't knock them over eventually. Like maybe we could have a second one for stacking them, but it seems like the best thing is just get them over there, then worry about stacking them later.
After every idea was shared, it wasn't long before the team started building.
Ashish, are you gonna do anything or can I do?
Yeah, no, go ahead.